Namaste. Welcome. My name is Toni Minard, and today's class is going to be focused on shoulders. We're going to be stretching and opening, releasing the shoulders, as well as strengthening them. And a lot of the poses will also be working the core. So let's get started. This class we will need a few props, but there are lots of different possibilities here. The first thing you need is a small towel. This is a kitchen towel. And you're going to fold it in half. And then you're going to fold it in half again. And then you're just simply going to half roll, half fold up. So you have something like this. Set that aside. The second thing you're going to need is a strap, but you don't really need a strap. You can use a men's tie, a bathrobe, a belt, a bathrobe tie, a belt. So pretty long, about like that. Go ahead and set that aside. And then you'll need a small pillow, something this size or even smaller for a deep stretch we're going to be doing later on. We're going to set those aside. And we are going to start on our back today, so it's a little different. So take your little towel that you rolled up, and we're going to place it right where the bra strap is. So just imagine the bra strap. And we're going to place it across like this. So find your bra strap area, lay it under there, and then lie down, gently bringing the back of the head to the floor. If you're not able to do that, you can still place something underneath the head as well. This shouldn't feel strained. Go ahead and bend the knees to take that pressure off of the lower back. So what you're going to feel is a heart opening, and you're also going to start to release the shoulders down towards the mat. And you can just open your arms and go ahead and close your eyes here. So the shoulders tend to be forward a lot in our culture nowadays, things that we do. And so we're trying to bring them back so that the arm bone is resting in the shoulder socket, as well as the heart opening and lifting. So try to get comfortable here. If you need to place something under your back, do that, whatever you need to do. Let's take a nice cleansing breath, and then just close the eyes. And let's just take a moment here to find the breath. Just notice it. Maybe for the first time today. Allowing the shoulders to sink. We're just going to do a body scan here as we allow the breath to flow evenly and fully. Starting with the head, noticing any tension, maybe gently rocking your head side to side. Releasing the jaw, the face relaxed, the teeth parting. And then coming into the shoulders, just allowing them to sink down towards the earth. And then into the arms and the hands, wiggling the fingers and releasing them. And then the belly. Start to notice that breath and how it interacts with the belly. Maybe rising with the inhale and falling with the exhale. And then coming into the lower back, just releasing it towards the mat with a natural curve. And then coming into the legs and the feet, and wiggling the toes. And then just releasing into your, let's take one more deep belly breath, filling up with the inhale. And then let's let that breath out with a cascading breath through the mouth. And then open your eyes. We're going to roll onto our side. Use our hands to come up and set that towel aside. And now we're going to come into tabletop. We're going to, this class today will be a little more workshoppy, but it's really going to affect the rest of your yoga practice, because chaturanga is practiced in every single yoga class. And if you're doing it incorrectly, you can do more harm than good. Actually, a rotator cuff injury is very common in yoga, and it's really simply caused by improper form. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come into tabletop. We want a wide, as large as we can, connection or base at the hands. So the knees are right under the hips, the wrists are right under the shoulders, and just spread those fingers and actively press into the joints of the finger, especially these base joints, and really especially the pointer and thumb joint. So just take a moment here to find that. Now notice your shoulders. Are you sinking like this? We want to have our hands pressing into the mat and our navel pressing back towards the spine. Neck is relaxed. So your shoulder blades are going to be broad, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to do cat-cow, but we're going to make sure that this shoulder stays right here in this joint. So we're going to inhale into cow. We're going to start to drop the belly and arch the lower back. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to press the floor away. The shoulder blades come broad as we round the back. And then as we inhale, the shoulder blades come together, the back arches. Okay, we're working on stability in the shoulder blades here. So we're going to exhale, round the shoulder blades, broaden. And then we're going to inhale, arch the shoulder blades, squeeze together. Let's do one more cat-cow. Good. And wag the tail. And now we're going to walk the knees back so we're on a plank. We're on a knee plank. So walk the knees back. You can cushion up your mat by folding it if you need that knee support. Now, first thing you want to make sure is you're not sinking down. So keep that belly scooped out. Press those hands actively into the mat. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to exhale, round, slightly coming back. And then we're going to inhale, coming into that arched back. Belly drops. Exhale, rounding, drawing back towards a child's pose almost. And then inhale, coming into that cow. Now come back in between both of those, okay? That's your knee plank. You should feel a lot of core happening here. Navel draws back. Make sure your shoulder, your arm bone, this large arm bone is right in the shoulder socket. We're not sinking down. Now we're going to add a little chaturanga. So I want you to bounce for these 3 chaturangas, and if you can't bounce, then you've gone too far, okay? That's your little clue there. Bring the shoulders right over the wrists, and then just kind of bounce, and then come back up. Bending the elbows with brushing against the ribs, okay? Bounce. You go as far as you can, and as long as you can bounce, then you're okay. And let's do that one more time. Bounce, bending the elbows, squeezing them in, and then come back up. Come down to child's pose, take a breath, pump your fists. All right, now if that was like killer, that's gonna be your plank for a long time. You're not gonna worry about going all the way down or anything like that. You're just gonna bounce it until you can no longer bounce. That's your spot. And then you're gonna come back up. That's your chaturanga. And then you'll come towards child's pose and sink it through into cobra. But here's the next stage. Let's come onto the toes. Press one heel back, press the other. My elbows, my shoulders are right over my wrist. My core is drawing back. And let's just bounce it, go as far as you can, and then come back up. Keep that little bounce, and come back up. Now watch, my elbows are brushing against the sides, they're not coming out. And then knees, and come back to child's pose, take a break, pump the fists. Take a deep breath. If you're there, that's your chaturanga. If you're not, you will build the upper body strength on your knees, I promise. You just have to give it time. Now, I want you to notice my shoulders. I'm going to show you a bad chaturanga, which is what I don't want you to do.
So the first thing is to bring the elbows out. I'm not gonna even go all the way down because that will really hurt. Don't do that. The second thing is, see how my shoulders dipped past the elbows? Very bad for the rotator cuffs. Never do that. I had a student come to my class who destroyed her rotator cuffs doing planks. So she was afraid to do chaturanga. Once I explained to her, you know, she had gone through therapy, had repaired the rotator cuffs, just shaking out the wrist. And once I had explained to her, you know, how to do it properly, she was able to start doing that. So don't let the shoulders sink past the elbows. We're not gonna just sink and fall into it. We're not gonna let the elbows come out. So let's do a chaturanga to a cobra, just so you can put it together. So we're gonna bend the elbows. We got a little bounce here. When you go as far as you can without any bouncing, and then you can start to lower down to the floor. Press that pubic bone into the mat, very important. And then you can just squeeze the shoulder blades together. The heart opens forward into a baby cobra. And exhale, come down. Let's try chaturanga on the toes. Now this is more advanced and it may take you a while to get here. Press through the heels. Bring the shoulders right over the elbows. Belly scoops out. Push into the mat. You slightly come forward and then you just bend any amount and then you untuck the toes. You come straight into an up dog or you want to come to a cobra. How do I know if I'm ready or not? Again, watch those shoulders. Bring those bones back into that shoulder socket. If I'm in up dog and I'm like sinking like this, that's not good. The thighs and the knees are lifting up and then you just press straight back into downward dog. You can also come to child's for a break. Take a few breaths here. I know this feels a little more workshop-y, but believe me, you're gonna feel it in your shoulders after class. Pump out those fists. I like to pump the wrists and the hands. And then let's come into our downward dog. Now we're gonna work through a sun salutation. We're gonna inhale, lift the left leg in three-legged dog, spread the toes, release. Inhale, lift the right leg, spread the toes, bring that right foot between your hands. Your feet are on railroad tracks. We're gonna come up into high lunge. Draw the sacrum, that's that little diamond-shaped little flat spot of the lower back, upper buttocks. Draw it down, even if you have to bend that back leg. The front knee is bent, navel's drawing back. Bring your shoulders back, drawing the shoulder blades together. And then maybe today you just lift the left arm, leave the elbow bent. Maybe the right arm lifts. Again, we're not shrugging those shoulders up. And then we're gonna exhale, fold forward. We're gonna come into our plank, either on your knees or your toes. We're gonna chaturanga any amount that we can use integrity and control. And then we're gonna come into our baby cobra. Shoulder blades squeeze together, neck is long. Exhale, come down and come back into downward dog. Take a few breaths here, walk it out. Even here, watch your shoulders. The shoulder blades are broad. The neck is loose. And I'm pushing the mat away with the hands. And then lift the heels. This time we're gonna bring the left foot between the hands. Feet are on railroad tracks, coming up into a high lunge. Sacrum draws down, navel back. Maybe the right arm lifts, maybe the left. And fold forward. Let's come into our chaturanga, knees or toes. Any amount where you can still bounce. And then you're going to drop all the way down. And you're gonna come into your baby cobra. Maybe you can come into a high cobra. So shoulder blades stay together, pubic bones reaching down. Maybe if there's no pinching in the lower back, you push into the mat and come up. Or maybe watch the shoulders, you come up into up dog. Exhale back to downward dog. Don't get ahead of yourself. You might be in these beginner chaturangas for a really long time. This time, we're gonna inhale, lift the left leg, three-legged dog, and we're gonna open the hip. Go ahead and open that hip, bring your heel towards the butt cheek. Maybe you look under the left armpit, and then get the other side, right leg. This time we're gonna go into a warrior two. So bring your right foot up to your right thumb. Plant your left heel, this time on a balance beam, and cartwheel open into warrior two. Bring that knee right over the heel, sacrum down, navel back. Do you see that? There we go. Arms come out. Let's flip the palms up so we can really feel that the shoulders are opening and drawing away from the ears. And then see if you can keep that elbow crease towards the ceiling on both sides and just flip the palms down. It's a subtle movement, like most of yoga. Good. And now we're going to go into cow-faced arms. So I actually should have told you to grab your strap. I'm sorry. Grab your strap. So grab the strap in your right hand. Bring the long end behind you like you're going to pat your back with your right hand. Okay? So we're trying to bring the elbow towards the ears slowly. And then bring this left arm out. Turn the palm away from you. Bending at the elbow, reach back, grab the bottom of the strap. I'm just going to show you what this looks like on the back. Okay? And you're going to use this bottom hand to pull the top hand in closer. This is called cow face arms. Navel in, sacrum down, and we're going to come into side angle warrior. This is going to take a lot of core. Scoop that navel back and pull that strap, holding cow-faced arms in side angle warrior. A lot of strengthening here. 2 more breaths. Keep that right knee right over the ankle, squeezing towards the baby toe. And then coming up from the core, we're going to take reverse warrior, just a side bend over here to the left. Again, pull the strap down with the bottom hand and come up. Set that strap down. We're going to use it again. Cartwheel down into your plank, knees or toes. Push the mat away. Chaturanga, any amount that you can hold it with integrity. And then come into either your baby cobra, high cobra, or up dog. And exhale back into downward dog. I'm going to turn on the other side so you can see me. And we're going to get the other side. So we're going to bring the left foot between the hands. Grab that strap on the way up, cartwheel open, warrior two. Line up that left knee. Get that strap, this time in the left hand with a long tail, like you're going to pat your back. Right hand comes out, turn the palm away, bend the elbow, grab the strap. Walk your hands as close as you can. Pull down with that bottom hand so that this elbow comes in. Don't worry about how far it comes in. Now, before we come into our side angle warrior and reverse warrior, make sure you're not puffing out. You're drawing your sacrum down, tailbone back, and we're going to come into side angle warrior. Hold this for 3 breaths. Make sure that left knee squeezes towards the baby toe. Draw your core in and up to come up. Take an inhale. And then exhale just into a little side bend to the right. Reverse warrior, just a little. Set that strap on the floor. I'm going to cartwheel the other way, but go ahead and cartwheel down. Come into your plank. Knee plank looks like this. Shoulders right over the elbows. Bend the elbows any amount with integrity. And then start to come down into your baby cobra. Maybe you can start to wiggle it up without any pinching in the lower back. Maybe you lift up the thighs and knees and exhale back to downward dog. Take a few breaths here. I'm looking at my notes, so your neck should be relaxed. I wanted to make sure we didn't forget anything here. Good. All right, let's come down to our knees now. And let's come to sit on our bottom. So we're in a few minutes, we're going to be using our pillow, and we're going to use that strap as well. So let's go ahead and get that strap. So I want you to come to a comfortable pose. So if you are slouching here, you can go ahead and grab that pillow and sit on it, lift the hips up. Otherwise, we're going to bring the legs into cow face. So we did cow face arms, we're gonna do cow face legs. So this is a little more advanced. So I'm gonna give you a different variation as well. So you're gonna take your right knee and stack it on top of your left knee like this. Now this was really hard for me when I first started because my hips were tight. So if this is hurting your hip, if it's uncomfortable, see if you can hold it as long as you're not slouching. But again, that pillow will help. Or you can simply place the right shin directly in front of the left shin. So you're not really sitting cross-legged. You see the feet are not stacked. So we're gonna get our strap. So this is opening our hips up. So let's get our strap, make it even on both sides, and we're just gonna come about shoulder width. And we're going to inhale, coming up as far as we can, pulling on the strap. If you need an extra breath, that's fine. And then exhale, coming down. Good. And now we're gonna come about knee width. Inhale, pull the strap, coming up as far as you can. So pulling on the strap is gonna stabilize the rib cage so that you are not using the sides of your body to lift, you're simply using the shoulders. That's why it's harder. And while we're down here, before we go into this third set, let's go ahead and switch the legs so that the left knee is in cow face, stacked on top of the right knee, or the left shin is in front of the right. And now we're not gonna go knee width, we're gonna go further out, pretty far out, because we're gonna try to bring the strap behind our head. So we're gonna inhale, pulling that strap, seeing if we can come behind. You can come as wide as you need to, and then exhale, coming back. Let's try that one more time. Inhale. This is so good on the shoulders. And exhale. And release that strap. Good. So now we're gonna do a little bit of core as well as shoulder strengthening. Now it's super important. We're gonna do forearm stand and plank, forearm dolphin pose and plank. It's really important that if you've had shoulder injuries or surgeries and you haven't been released by your doctor, I simply want you to come onto your hands for the plank. So you're gonna just do the same thing on your hands. Otherwise, come on to tabletop, bring your forearms down. Very important, I know there's a lot of important things here, that the elbow stays right under the shoulder, not out to the side, which is what you're gonna probably wanna do. Now, you can leave your hands flat, almost like an L shape with the pointer and the thumb, or you can make a fist. And we're going to walk the knees back so we're on a plank. Broaden the shoulder blades, scoop the belly out, push into the forearms, neck is relaxed. Stay here for 3 to 5 breaths or come onto toe plank for 3. Shaking's okay, back pain, shoulder pain's not. 2. Push into the forearms. Don't let them sink, don't let those shoulders sink. 2. 1. Come down to the knees, come into your child's pose, release, pump it out, come up onto spider fingers. Maybe bring your arms out to the sides like this and just release it. Really release it, don't worry about the next pose, be here in the moment. And let's set up for dolphin. So again, you can do hands if you have shoulder problems, or come onto those forearms, maybe make a fist, press into the forearms. This time we're just gonna lift up into downward dog. Okay, now you may just stay here. Now watch the shoulders, they're gonna wanna sink, don't sink. Press into the forearms. Bring that arm bone right in the shoulder socket, and then see if you can walk your hands so your head's gonna start to come forward into dolphin. And once you're as far as you can come in, start to release the heels towards the mat. They probably won't reach. Scoop the belly out, make sure you're not sinking in the shoulders for 2. 1 more breath. And then walk it back, come to the knees, child's pose. And breathe and release. Feel the belly soften. Feel the belly fill up with the inhale. And soften and release with the exhale. Let's come back up now. And we're gonna come into reverse tabletop. This is a wonderful shoulder strengthener as well as tricep workout. So I'm gonna give you two options here. Again, we don't wanna sink. We wanna keep that arm bone straight in that shoulder socket. See the difference? Shoulders are forward, shoulders are back. Bring your hands behind you with the fingers pointing out to the sides of your mat or the fingers towards your buttocks, but not towards the back of your mat. All right? Bring those shoulders in the right position. Now, for the first position, you can simply puff up the chest, shoulder blades come together. Chin can lift slightly. You don't have to lift it. You don't have to open the neck, and just hold this. Otherwise, press into the feet and lift up. Again, don't sink. Puff the shoulders, shoulder blades together. We're going to hold this for 3. 2, push into the mat, push the mat away. 1 more breath. And then we're going to slowly lower down. We're going to kind of walk the feet out and wide. And then we're going to do an old school PE stretch. So just take the right hand, kind of grab the upper arm of the left, bringing that arm across. Maybe you look over your left shoulder. And then get the other side. And shake it out. Go ahead and get some wrist releases. And then we are going to do a nice shoulder stretch. I forgot I have a clock over here. So let's come down onto our belly. And here's where your pillow can come in handy. So I'm going to give you 2 options. I want you to listen to your lower back. The first one is I'm going to show you the left arm out to the side, palm down, and then you're going to turn your head to look in the other direction and start to come onto the left hip. Now, you can bend both knees, or you can just bend the bottom knee, whatever feels good. My right hand is kind of supporting me, and I'm not going to lie directly on the pillow because I have that microphone in my ear, but imagine you're resting your head, feeling a nice stretch in this left shoulder. And starting to cool things down, bringing the heart rate down. And then come back into the center, and we're going to get the other side. So the right arm comes out to the side like a wing. Using this left hand for support, you're looking towards your left hand, start to come onto your right hip. Again, you can bend both knees, or you can just bend the bottom knee. Start to release the breath, relax. And then come back onto your belly. Remove that pillow, come into a cobra or an up dog, downward dog, walk it out. Release the neck, release the spine, and then come into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Make sure that your neck has a natural curve and your head is relaxed and comfortable. Shoulders are opening towards the floor. Just like we did in the beginning, but without that towel. Just let the knees fall in or the feet open up. Let's find a nice cleansing breath. Inhale, filling everything up, and then exhale, letting it out. Start to close the eyes. Release, relax. You can stay here for a few moments. You can go ahead and pause the video and stay here as long as you like. Find your breath. Just start to observe it like you're watching a movie. You're on the outside looking in. No judgment. Not forcing. Just letting it flow. If your legs are not already bent, start to bend your knees. Reach your arms overhead and then roll onto your side, resting your head on your arm.
Use your other hand to help yourself back up to a seated position. Cross-legged if you'd like. Eyes closed, palms open towards the sky. Pause. Notice if you feel any difference in your shoulders. You can release one ear towards one shoulder and then the other. Just notice how your neck feels, maybe a little freer. Inhale, arms overhead. Palms come together at heart center. And we bow, thanking each other. Namaste. Have a great day.